Hi guys, I thought that I'd just do a quick video to make sure that everyone gets the same message and ideas about where we're at with the playground. Also, Holly and I met on Friday and we spray painted out the footings. Now, we tried to do it as accurately as we could, but it's all kind of based on, if we're off by 1mm in our initial measurements, that's 15 centimeters sprayed out. And also our walls and fences and things aren't actually square, so we've tried our hardest to get an accurate depiction. So let's get started. So when you look at the spray paint markings we've done, we have two lines. We have the solid line, which is plan L. Plan L is the plan that contains the monkey bars, and the dotted line here is plan K. We need to change that because that says J, but that's plan K. And so as you can see, it is the monkey bar plan starts over here and comes along around here just outside the current layout, the playground, along here and curves around back to the shed. Now, other than the monkey bars, the actual fort layouts are the same between the two plans. So you'd have the slide here, a side-by-side slide. The corners there are the first fort unit, then the tunnel and the second fort unit, and then this corner is the tuatara, and the log stepper comes along here, maintaining Penny Brownlee's apple tree. And then standing from here, the monkey bars, where my head is, are these dotted lines here. So to fit monkey bars in the plan without heading too much further out, there are 5 or 6 bar railing. So we're intending the general business meeting to be less of a discussion. Hopefully a lot of the discussion can occur before the meeting so that we're not taking up the whole hour and a half with just the playground. We need to make a few decisions as outlined on the paper. The first is how we want the decision to be made, what we want consensus to look like, whether we want it to be 100% have to be happy to move on, live with the decision, okay, let's do this playground, or do we want it to look like that, plus or minus 2 or 3 people, 4 people, whatever we decide. Do we want to, walk to plan K, plan L, sides of the room and see where we're at? Do we want to do a secret ballot? So those are the kind of decisions we need to make first off. And then working through whether we can eliminate a plan, whether we can eliminate movable options, and then whether we can decide between the plans. So the design team have proposed in the paper that we remove plan J, which is the plan that's got the curved slide and the monkey bars off to one side, mainly because we've had to fit that all in the smallest footprint, we've got to remove the planter boxes and the lemon tree. We need to relocate the planter boxes to I guess where the tyres would be, and look at a new compost and worm farm. So sort of the prep work to get plan J is less than ideal, and we'll be losing some really good elements from the centre and maybe making up that flow between the centre and the sandpit area. Also, the actual flow of the playground might not be as good. The monkey bars off to one side are a safer spot for the monkey bars, potentially less sort of accident by swinging squash child, but the slide is a single curved slide rather than the side-by-side slide that we initially wanted. However, that being said, that plan can be altered to have a side-by-side slide. It just makes an extra 400mm of softball. The feedback that we have heard is that members would rather not take away from the centre, rather just add, so not take away things that have been done before, or trees that are already been planted. So our initial decision is, can we potentially eliminate that from the drawing board and just choose between two plans, Plan L and Plan K. So these are the two new plans that have just been presented this week, and I'm going to talk through them next. Okay, so all of these plans are readily available. Copy on the adult toilet. There's a physical copy in the office. We're going to be bringing them to sessions to discuss, and they're going to be via the papers on email, and they're up on Facebook at the moment. So this is Plan K. Plan K is a direct alteration of the plan that we talked about in the June meeting, that we decided on certain elements of this area. And it's just been done properly by Playscapes instead of drawn on by myself. So this playground contains, well, they all contain, the swing area is the same, and then you can see here, this is the fall of the current hill that we've got. We've got the train track and the tuatara with the tree remaining. The planter box, this part remains, and there's currently an L-shaped piece that would need to be removed in both plans in order to be able to tuck the playground in, because we need to have a certain distance between any kind of fall risk. So this is all soft fall here. Along here we discussed at the June meeting whether this edging was necessary. Now the purpose of the edging is to prevent the artificial turf from lifting and to protect that area, and having a mowing strip from where the lawns actually need to be mowed. So this plan we can see more in 3D. This is a grassy mound with a balustrade along here, a side-by-side slide, and we initially discussed having a double slide. In ECE, it's recommended to have the gap between so that children aren't tangled up in each other going down. We have the two fort structures with the tunnel in between, a fireman's pole off the side, and a climbing wall here. And in this part here, we have got on the ground level a tunnel for the smaller children, stepping logs here. So that is that plan. This is the 3D of it. So you can see here, we've got the side-by-side slide in this mound, which is intended for the smaller children to be able to climb up and access this slide. We have a shop window with little seating area. We've got wonky windows with coloured perspex glass in it. And roofed. Now, on this plan, this structure isn't roofed, but as the design team would recommend roofing this for just a little bit of extra sun safety. So this is also the 3D of K, just from a different angle. This angle you can see the tunnel and the climbing wall and the stepping logs. So this would be the intended access points for the older children. Okay, and this is Plan L. So again, same swing area, and again you can see here, this is the fall from the hill, the edging there, all of this area remains the same, and these actual structures, when you overlay them, are in all the same places. The only difference from the bird's eye view is the addition of the short run monkey bars and then the increased area for soft fall. When you look at that in 3D, again this area is the same, the step is. Now, because with this monkey bar here, this what was on the other plan was like a balustrade here, needs to be removed. The mound needs to be removed, and this structure here needs to be closed in so that children can't climb out onto the top of the bars, or they can't climb up onto the top of the roof here. Side by side slide, this part here would be closed in a little bit more so that children can't fall out of the side of the slide. this is just a missing piece of render that should have a bar down there. The rest of that is the same, except losing this piece, this retaining wall, mound, balustrade part, means that the tunnel is gone for the crawling children, which was one of the sort of initial requirements, is that we had an area, a hidey hole for the smaller children to go to. I have talked to Lara because there's concerns with children swinging off and landing on children crawling around down here. So her recommendation would be to increase this or continue this balustrade right down to the ground, covering in this part here and having this being the entrance to the tunnel. So little children could crawl in here and crawl under here quite safely, because this would be covered in and this would be filled in as well. So that's the changes on that one. Here's the other 3D of that one. So that shows the climbing wall, again, is the same. The steppers would then be the only access point up. I guess for the smaller children, unless once they become able to climb the rock wall, they can get up. They won't be able to access this way. There is an opening on this side for the fireman pole, so it would be close supervision and assistance to get those younger children up into the structure. Potentially some of these could be, so there's some quite small ones and quite wide ones, they could all be made similar to a larger diameter so that smaller children would have the access up. This playground option, in my opinion, looks more like an older children's playground. Like I said, there's no access for the smaller children. So in my opinion, if we went for this option, which is L, we would need to be mindful of setting up our movable younger children options, the lower slides, the lower boxes and planks and things like that for them to be able to access. And keeping in mind we do have the other slide for smaller children to use as well. And I mean, as long as there is a parent lifting the child up, they can go down the slide as well. Okay, since I talked to the others, I'm just going to quickly do J. Again, this is the same. This one has the monkey bars off to one side, which is less disruptive to the play on the bars and the structure. These are actually flipped. So on the other plans, this is on this side and this is on this side. But in this plan, you can see that the log steppers are on this side. This slide is a curved slide. Planter boxes, lemon tree have been moved. So I hope that that's helped you get your head around the plans, being able to see the actual footings out there, keeping in mind we've tried our hardest without a laser pointer measure thing to accurately spray paint out those markings. If you have any questions on either of the plans or the spray painted lines, either private message me, Amy Prowse, on Facebook, or Amy Prowse, PROUSE@gmail.com, and I will put all the answers in one Facebook post so everyone gets to see the answers to the questions. Or myself, Ursi and Holly will be attending sessions this week with the plans to hopefully answer any other questions anyone might have. But it'd be really cool if you guys could grab the plans out of the office, have a walk around the playground where it's sprayed out, see what you like, see what you don't like, see if there's blockages, if there's areas of supervision that you think aren't going to work, if all children can access, if there's enough challenges for the little kids and for the big kids, and if there's anything missing, if there's any disruptions to the flow of play, or if you think it's too cramped or too sparse, or there's something missing from the plan, let us know. And just, see if we can make a choice for next Thursday between Plan K and Plan L, and or Plan J if you guys want to keep that in the mix. Cool. Thanks. Have a great weekend.